Horror Hour.
I see dead.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
We get you.
The dead
You are going to die tonight.
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Hour, a place we discuss, we debate, we disagree on all things horror. I'm your host today, Yutaka, and unfortunately today we're going to talk action. I know. This review's a little late, but I've been really excited to talk to you about John Wick 4. That's right. This film comes out this Friday on the 24th, and I think some places got some early screenings on Thursday. Now, the runtime's a little close to maybe 3 hours. It's directed by Chad Stahelski, written by Shay Hatten and Michael Finch. All right, so let's talk about who it stars. We've got, first off, obviously the man of the hour, Keanu Reeves as John Wick. Then you have your two protagonists. You've got Bill Skarsgård as the Marquis. You've got Donnie as Kane. So for the Osaka Continental, you've got Hiroyuki Sanada as Shimazu. And then you also have Rina Sawayama as Akira. And then, of course, for the New York Continental, we have Ian McShane as Winston and Lance Reddick as Charon. And at the time of recording, Lance did pass away at the young age of 60. May he rest in peace. And honestly, I've been a huge fan of his since The Wire and Fringe. So if you haven't had time, go check that out. Then you've got Shamir Anderson as the tracker. And then Scott Adkins as this mother effer. That's all I'm going to say about him. And then lastly, you've got Clancy Brown as the Harbinger. So, where did we leave off? Well, John Wick, he's, leaves just nothing but a path of destruction. So, we start off, from all these films. So, John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. So let's talk about the positives. So first off, with any John Wick film, I'm going to go in wanting several things. I want action. I want a spectacle. I want incredible fight choreography. I want to be entertained. Also, I want a banging soundtrack, and I want massive set pieces. We are on the number 4 of the franchise, so I'm going to want them to step up their game, I think we also get a new cast of characters, which I was really excited about. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Hiroyuki Sanada, so that was just amazing to see him, Donnie Yen, and Rina Sawayama. Beautiful. And then, of course, we've got Shamir Anderson, who I have to give a huge shout out to because his character as the tracker was just awesome. I'll be honest, he didn't really have much in terms of character development, so, kind of a negative. However, he was part of one of, if not the best action set piece in the movie. It was so unique, so well done. It was like you were in a video game, and it gave me massive Malignant vibes when she's running through the house. But the way, though, you were going through this complex of sorts, and they are just taking out enemies, trying to get to each other to eventually take themselves out, it is just awesome. And so the weapons you see, there's just the way everything's positioned when it comes to maybe windows, mirrors, and all this. It's beautiful. It's a spectacle. It's what I wanted. Scott Adkins was interesting, but we'll talk about that. Actually, let's just get into it. Let's talk about my negatives. Scott Adkins, I mean, his acting's a little rough. His character was fun, but I do think the Berlin sequence, it could have been trimmed down because this movie is close to 3 hours. And while it is, I mean, it is nonstop. I didn't leave my seat. I saw it on a premium screen in IMAX and I was glued. But I kept thinking, I was like, this is where you could have trimmed some time, and I thought it was odd that they were in this huge club and they're having this fight scene, people getting hacked to death, bullets everywhere, but nobody's moving. And well, I thought that was weird. I just recently saw John Wick, the first one, again, and something similar happened. So maybe it's not that out of the ordinary. It's still just odd. The other thing, Bill Skarsgård, love him. Didn't like his character, the Marquis. I love the flashy suits he was always in. That accent, though, was hard to get past. And you all know me, I can't do accents. So it was rough. And even though I know going into a John Wick film, there's really not much in terms of story or script. But with the fourth one in a film, something that's almost 3 hours, that would have been nice. I mean, that really would have been nice. But again, I knew what I was going for, which is why, so when I talk about my overall score, uh, we need to consider that I knew I wanted to be entertained, and entertained I was. Was this a perfect film? Hell no. Did I have a lot of fun? Oh, hell yes. Would I like to see it again? Most definitely. So, with that being said, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 because, again, I had my expectations, it exceeded them. And as somebody who's a huge fan of the franchise, I just think it's a good step up. Now, where does it fall in terms of my favorite? I keep going back, but I'd say this is my second favorite. 3 was just out of this world. And I think that's due to, you know, Halle Berry. She was awesome. Which also shout out to Rina Sawayama. Um, she slayed. So let's just get that out of the way as well. But hey, if you liked my review, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you're notified of every time we put out new content. And until next time, guys, see ya.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.